a business can also be really hard and really exhausting. And that's why I think that it is amazing that you are here, that you are part of the Hive, because being a part of a community, especially when you are a business owner, especially when you're a female business owner, is like so huge and so important. And like you have that camaraderie and accountability and understanding and can be seen, because everybody's going through the same emotions and roller coasters in their day-to-day as you do the thing, as you like run your business. So I wanted to just like start there, that there's like a little like sisterhood when you own a business and you're a woman. So yes, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're part of the Hive, and I'm glad to welcome you to this masterclass. And also another thing is like, good for you for like carving out this time and making this time to prioritize yourself, to prioritize your self-development, your business, all of the things that you're investing in your brain and you're investing in your future self and your future business here. So with that, let's buckle up. I'm going to be teaching you a process that I came up with around goal setting, attempting, and achieving. And I really believe that it provides this like unmatched clarity and purpose behind like saying you want to do something, that really gives you the fuel to actually do it and to actually achieve it and to realize it and accomplishment. Okay, I'm like bouncing between screens, so bear with me. Everyone can see my screen and hear me too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and everybody's comfortable. You have something to sip on, munch on, something to write with. Okay. All right. So a little bit about me. I'm Lisa Marie Shires. I am a certified professional coach, and I focus on life coaching, transitions, and goal empowerment. And so the people that I work with are typically busy working professionals like yourselves, that are juggling a lot of different things in their lives, in their businesses. I trained at one of the most rigorous coach training programs in the world called IPEC, and have hundreds of hours of coaching under my belt at this point. I have a picture of my family here. Obviously, I live in Anne Arundel County.
Where?
Anne Arundel, yeah. Where? Anne Arundel County, on the Chesapeake. Oh, okay.
I live in Florida.
Oh,
Yeah, so some of the Hive is local and some of the Hive isn't local, which is super awesome. But Kelly, Lisa is where I am in Maryland.
okay.
It's so beautiful. I saw a picture of her house and what looks out her window. What's outside her window?
Yeah.
It's beautiful there. Beautiful.
Yes, it is. It really is. And I'm so glad that you jumped in and shared that. I wasn't sure. So yeah, we live on the Chesapeake Bay. And I'm showing this picture of my family because they are really my why. They are really my reason for doing the work that I'm doing in coaching. There was a point in my life where I very much hit a wall. I very much plateaued. I remember so crystal clearly one morning waking up and going into my bathroom and looking at myself in the mirror, and I did not recognize the person that was looking back at me. At this point, I've had years under my belt working in corporate, working at ad agencies, owning other businesses, and I have 3 little kids, and I was just like, don't know who you are. Don't know who you are anymore. And at that point also in my life, my priorities were like all out of whack. So I like to show this picture because it really kind of like grounds me before I present this stuff, because they are why I made this shift. They are why I hired my first coach and was able to experience the transformation that I did with that coach. And it inspired me so much to become a coach myself. So that's why I am here doing what I'm doing. And as far as goals go and like goal empowerment goes, it wasn't until I established and came up with a process to actually like doing the how part of it, that things started happening for me. Like I was very It's one thing to like wish something into existence or like try to manifest something into existence, but like that's usually fueled by some like temporary optimism, temporary excitement, and we need like that exact how so that the action we take can be consistent so that we have like the stamina it takes to like get it over the finish line, if that makes sense. So goal getter process. Let me go to the next slide. These are just a few things that I have used the goal getter process to accomplish. I have a huge list, but these jumped out at me as like some of the bigger things. The first one is I quit coffee. Don't hate if you are a coffee lover. I love the taste of coffee and the smell of coffee. I love it so much. But coffee was wrecking my body and like my mind. So I went from drinking 730 plus cups of coffee a year to 0. So I sleep better now. My anxiety is under control. It's really plummeted. And my interactions at work and at home and with my kids is a lot less charged. I intentionally secured a new job with a 72% salary increase and 100% fully paid benefits. And that I really used that process for this one because what I wanted to do was so specific. This is outside of coaching. And then I strategically launched a business doing my soul's work while working full time and doing that other thing. Figured out a way to manage and handle both on top of like having a family and having kids. I got the spark back in my marriage. There was a long period of time where like that spark was not there. Like it was not there. And so I used the goal process in conjunction, like in collaboration with my husband, to put a process to like bringing that back and establishing regular date nights and like really prioritizing solo time as well, and figured out how to make it all work and what steps we needed to take in order to put that whole thing into place so that it eventually just felt like very natural and very organic. I made a game plan to invest in myself, invest in my growth, invest in my brain, which is something that I never really felt comfortable doing. So I had to overcome like a lot of stuff in order to get to that point. And so having a plan to get there with ease was really important to me. I established a meditation and a walking practice to really help regulate my nervous system and to connect with like what was going on inside, because very much of my life I was living like on the outside and not really looking inward and on the inside. And the last one is really important to me. This was a goal that I set last year, which was to intentionally create more depth in my relationships and in my friendships. And that meant letting go of old friends that I've had for years, letting them go, seeking out and finding new ones that were more aligned with like where I am in this season of life. All hard things, but the hard things became a lot easier by having a process. And like this slide isn't meant to be like, look at what I've done. This is just to give some examples and like back up to the belief that so much is possible in so many different ways and areas of like life and business. When you get really, really crystal clear on what it is you want to accomplish, really rooted in the why behind it, and so that you can implement a fail-safe plan to actually getting it done versus just like willing it into existence, which doesn't work on its own. Intentional action has to come along with that.
I love that you gave us examples of like non-business goals that you used, because I probably should be ashamed to admit this, but it never really, I mean, other than like health goals, it never really occurred to me to like set goals for personal things.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, aside from like launching a business and like redirecting my career, like this process can be applied to all of the things.
Yeah.
All of the things. And once your brain gets like a little bit comfortable with that idea, you're going to want to use this for everything. So I'm excited to get more into that. Okay. Let's see. Next one. agenda today. It's a short agenda, but we do have a lot to talk about. And we're going to do some like interactive stuff together. So we're going to talk about the common mistakes that people make when they set their goals, that really keep them from not only hitting them, but like from moving forward from a place of feeling really good about what they're doing. And then I'll teach you the goal getter process. That's the exact process that I use, that my clients use, to set those realistic, fail-safe goals that aren't going to leave you freezing at any point, fizzling out, that won't leave you procrastinating or like falling short, but instead feeling that sense of confidence and accomplishment, so that you have the consistency there available to you, and so that you can really start to embody it stronger. So as we go through, this is a small, intimate group. If anybody has a question, anybody has something they want to share, just go off mute or raise your hand, drop something in the chat, and shout it out, and we'll address it. And then I'll also leave time at the end for a little Q&A if anybody wants to save their questions or comments for the end. Sound good? Okay,
Sound good.
great. All right. So, common mistakes. Let's first just acknowledge that we are humans. We're flawed. We make mistakes. This is normal. This is what we are supposed to do. The human race only learns by evolving. Can't evolve without making mistakes along the way. So this slide about common mistakes around goal setting is not meant to be shamey in any way. It's more so just to bring awareness around where people get tripped up. Because often, I mean, you may have set goals in the past and like not completed them, or not actually achieved the thing you wanted to achieve, and not even know like where it was you tripped up or why. So this is just to bring awareness around that stuff. So these 5 are really the most common. The first is that the goal is too big. It's too open-ended, it lacks specificity and lacks detail. And like that, like more nebulous goal leaves a lot of question marks, leaves a lot of unknown, and makes it hard to navigate and to make forward progress. So a good example of this would be if I set a goal that was get healthy in 2024. Like, okay, what's that mean? It's open-ended. The next one is too many goals. So it's totally normal and totally natural to be like, I'm going to do this thing, and feel really excited about it. You get like that taste of excitement because you have anticipation of the return at the end, like once you actually achieve it and cross the finish line. Like that excitement is rooted way, way in the future, right? And so then you get all hyped up and amped up, and you're like, I want to do it all. I can do it all. Let's do this and this and this and this and this and this. Ooh. Then, when we start to take action on all of those things, we're spread thin, and we're not giving any like 1, 2, or 3 things a majority of our focus, a majority of our energy. It's getting a much smaller level of effort and attention. The next is misjudging timing or obstacles. So life is gonna life. Life gets in the way. We get too busy. Summertime comes up, and that your calendar's booked for 3 months straight. Holidays throw a wrench into things, into plans that you might have had as far as like working on your stuff. If you have kids, or like weddings, or you get sick, or like you enter a really busy season of work, everything and everyone can often become more important than the goal that you set out to do. So what we do is we deprioritize. We bring it down the list, and down the list, and down the list, and then we are so good at justifying and rationalizing why we had to do that, why now is not the best time, why all of a sudden you can't like make this your priority. Okay, the next one is underestimating the plan or the investment. So when you don't have a true, very crystal clear plan to execute on that goal, you're faced with like, I don't really know where to start. And then we spin in that unknown, we spin in indecision, trying all of these different things to figure out what the next like right step is, the next right step to take, and if it's going to get us closer to where we're trying to go. And then from an investment perspective, I'm talking about not a monetary investment, but more of like an investment, the investment needed to get the return, or like the effort that needs to be invested to get that return. Because your goals are never just going to be like, poof, it's done. Here it is. Here you are. It's never just going to be handed to you. We have to put some effort in. It's like if you think about any home project that you've ever taken on or your partner has taken on, and you're like, oh, this will take me like 1 or 2 hours, and it ends up being
Yeah.
2 days. Yeah, 2 days later, here we are, still not done. Okay, and then the last one is people tend to skip that cost benefit analysis. So we rarely deeply think about or decide in advance of starting our own willingness to feel anything but good. Because you're riding that high of like what your goal, achieving your goal can ultimately offer you. So with goal setting, the biggest cost that we have is the feeling of discomfort and the mental effort that you have to extend. So like that awkward inner conversation often gets overshadowed because of the excitement of that potential outcome that's ahead instead. You don't come to that internal agreement with yourself. Okay, what am I willing to feel and experience as I like move through this? Okay. All of these mistakes are rooted in one underlying thing, and that's not having a process. Not having a process in place to set, attempt, achieve, and evaluate your goals, coupled with your brain at the same time doing exactly what it's supposed to do, which is like keep us safe. It's like, oh, don't do that. That's scary. Oh, stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. You're getting all these like unconscious messages as you like move through this stuff. Because setting goals often, not always, but often takes us into new territory. New is scary, new is unknown, and the unknown is perceived by our minds as a threat. It's this like primal mentality of like your survival instincts getting activated. So what happens is our thoughts go from like, I am so doing this, like got this locked down, like this is so happening, no problem, it's gonna be awesome, to, oh, I don't have any time. Or, oh, it really wasn't that important. Or when things calm down next week, next month, next quarter, then I'll like refocus and get back to it. Or like, let me get some of these other things done first and then get back on track. These are thought errors. They're not true. 56% of people do not achieve their goals because of thought errors like that. But once you have that strategy, once you have the process, you know exactly what to do step by step by step, you take this big idea, this big goal, and you break it down into something that's digestible and something that's like easy and something that's really, really doable, that threat gets diminished because then there's more certainty available, like I mentioned earlier. And when there's more certainty available, there's more confidence in its place instead of fear. All right? Does that make sense? All right. So let's get the chat fired up. Drop in the chat. I know when you all registered, one of the questions was, what's a goal that you have? So I've seen them. But let's drop it in the chat so we can get the collective energy of feeling the things that you guys are trying to accomplish this year. So go ahead and drop them in. I'll start to read them out loud. Launch a course on event planning. Love that. Grow the food truck and buy a home. Oh my gosh. Yes. Those are big. Pay down business debt. Mm-hmm. It's that thing that just likes to hang over our heads, right? Get out of here. Get out of here. We don't need that. Right. I don't know if everybody is actually sitting at a computer, so here we go. Business first, finish course, launch course, relaunch in the fall, maintain my fitness levels. Yes. And more. I love that. I love that. Connecting with more women in business and growing my business. Perfect. All right, we have some very ambitious women in this room. Obviously, knew that was going to be the case. Continue nurturing friendships. So good. So good. Okay. Keep writing if you haven't written yet, but I'm going to move on. All right. So let's jump into the goal getter process. Balance work and personal life better. Yeah. That's a tricky one. All right. So by like textbook definition, a goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result. Yeah, that's what it is. But I believe that a goal is made up of so much more than just the thing. I think what's missing from this definition has to do with energetics and it has to do with math. And that may sound odd and surprising to you, but hear me out on this. To me, the definition or the equation looks a little bit more like this. Your goal, or your big goal, I'm calling it, is the object of ambition or the thing, the why or the compelling reason, which is really the strategic byproducts of attempting the goal, the tangible and intangible things that come along with it, plus the feeling that you'll have, plus the desired result, plus timing. Okay? You need to get clear on each of those components to truly round out your goal. And in the process, what you're doing is you're really priming your energy to either do the thing or not do the thing, to hit it and succeed and accomplish it, or to fall short and fail and forget about it or deprioritize it. Now, the energetics piece here is that you will not do the, let me actually go back a slide, sorry. You will not do the thing that you're saying you want to do if you're doing it because you're afraid of a negative outcome. Mm-hmm. Because it's what you think other people will want you to do or what's expected of you. No, guys. That is what I call catabolic energy. That is like destructive, depleting, like energy zapping energy. It zaps your energy. That type of catabolic energy is not going to charge you up to sustain the motivation that you need to like push through and the stamina that you need to see it through. Instead, if your why, that compelling reason, if that's rooted in conscious thought because it's truly a want and there's no like worry of like negative outcome or other people's perceptions, that's a totally different story. That's why this upfront work is really, really, really crucial. Yes, stamina to see it through, exactly. Okay, so let me move over to the example. So here's an example. This first one is like the old way of writing your goal, right? So the example I'm using here is like get a higher paying job in 2024. The big goal version sounds like this. Get a higher paying job, the object, because it'll provide financial independence, a stronger sense of security, and an improved quality of life as the compelling reason. This will make me feel empowered and free feeling. Securing a higher paying job is important to me so that I can better contribute to my household and plan to go on a yoga retreat, the desired result, by October 2024 timing. Notice the difference there. Like how much more confident would you feel in the third
getting high with the name. You don't wanna lie, but you know that it's a pain. Down the pain. But the pain is coming, then we know. And the years go by, it's the same thing. You go out, but down, found you all. Stay safe, you say, found the space to leave. Ground, you washed up.
All right, how are we doing? Checking in. Still working? Okay, I'll give another minute.
So you're scared from the couch in your stone, longing to feel nothing left to be. So you kept me on the line, never close to be mine. Was the dream that you had when you woke up and you were sad? Remember the room, how party was with my friends. Remember the way I loved you now, the way that I loved you then. Spend nights night with a bottle of wine. We'll never know if our love could grow, but you kept me on the line, but never close to being mine. Are we supposed to write it in that little chat box, or are we gonna speak it out loud?
If you feel called to sharing with the group, for sure, do it. Drop it in the chat, or you can speak it out loud. Probably will go through everyone's, but if you are ready and you want to share, you're welcome to.
Oh, sure, okay, let's see if I can read my chicken scratchings. Okay, my big goal for 2024 is to finish and successfully launch my Ageless Skin Academy course. This is in 2024, where I put my best foot forward every day and think about my why. And I have multiple whys on this. The first one is to make a reoccurring
want to give them. And another one, which is really big, and I should have mentioned this first, is that God told me, I'm a believer, and God told me that I needed to finish this course. Because I said, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? He said, finish the course. And I go, well, what's next? He goes, finish the course and I'll tell you what's next. So once I know that I finished this course and it's on automation, I know that God is going to say to me, this is what I want you to do next. And it probably surrounds, I know this is a platform or a stepping stone to set me up for what God wants me to do next. Because God is a big part of my life. And I say, glory be to God. There we go. Hallelujah.
Woo! That was so good, Kelly. Okay, just some really quick feedback on that. I fully felt that, and like notice the difference between what you put in the chat like earlier to like what you just shared, right? And oftentimes we just keep some of that stuff up in our mind, but there's just something about getting it out on paper and sharing with a community like the Hive that just gives you more buy-in. That's the ultimate thing behind like this big goal process and like using this formula, is because you are selling yourself on the thing that you want to do. You're creating the buy-in for the thing that you want to do. And if y'all picked up on this or noticed, Kelly took the formula and kind of like reorganized it, and that's totally okay. That's totally fine to do. Whatever like flows, as long as each of those components are hit. So that was amazing. Thank you for sharing, Kelly.
Thank you. Thank you for your process.
Oh, we're not done. We're not done. I'm going to read this next one really quickly, and then we're going to move on. But there is more. Okay. Katie said, I'd like to launch an event planning course to create a passive income opportunity so that my family has financial freedom. This will make me feel more able to be present with my family and provide opportunities to make amazing memories so that I can plan a family trip to Italy in 2025 and more amazing trips before my 14-year-old graduates from high school. So good. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Oh, and Kimberly. My goal is to pay down my business debt because it'll allow me to have financial freedom and more resources to put money in my pocket to benefit my family. This will also allow me to feel less anxiety and worry. With my debt paid down, I will have the financial freedom to be able to realistically pursue my second goal of opening another location in late 2024. Yay, Kimberly. And I'm like noticing a theme here with financial freedom. So Katie,
Yep.
that may be your sign. Bring in like a financial planner.
100%. 100%.
All right. All right. We're going to move on, guys. I have a hard stop at 1, so I want to make sure you get all the good juice. Okay. We did this. All right. The next step of the process is hedging your risk. So we have our big goal now. So now what we need to do is some intentional thinking about upfront anticipation of having a plan in place for when you want to quit, when you want to start listening to the thoughts that your mind has to offer you. And we do this with a cost-benefit analysis. It's a cost-benefit analysis of the goal, and we do this up front because what we're able to do right now when we're at like a neutral place is access our prefrontal cortex in our brain. I know I'm talking a lot about like neuroscience here, but just nerd out with me for a second. When we're here, when we are like baseline and neutral, you have access to that logical thinking that doesn't have a lot of influence from emotion and like other things. When you are in the process of achieving that goal and you're doing all the things and you're taking action and things start to go wrong, or like something gets in the way, or you make any of those common mistakes we talked about, trying to come up with a plan of what to do to keep yourself propelled forward is going to be nearly impossible, because at that point you're in survival mode. Your amygdala in the back of your brain is fired up. You will not have access to this logical brain. That's why we do this early. So first what we need to do is level set on the cost. And the cost here, like I said, is discomfort, and then it's also that mental effort that it's going to take to get the thing done. So know that that's coming, and knowing what you're going to do when it does come is just going to be key to your planning and your strategy. So is part of your plan going to be to identify and reach out to an accountability partner? Is it going to be to just like allow any feelings or troubles to just be there and get curious about the origin so that you can process it and then just keep going? Do you need to do a mini evaluation halfway through your goal to determine, okay, what's working, what's not working, and what do I need to tweak? What do I need to do differently? Those are just like some ideas. You'll come up with your own game plan, but that alone hedges your risk of not accomplishing your goal. Okay, and then the next thing is the benefit, and the benefit is the compelling reason that you all just worked on, plus a stretch reason, and this is essentially just growth. And I included this because that stretch reason is because we are designed to evolve as people. We don't evolve without also experiencing growth. Like, yes, that finish line is important, but the process of getting to the finish line, that's what holds the weight. That's what's going to make a lifetime impact. So growing, learning, exposing yourself to new experiences, expanding your capacity and your abundance, and seeing the edges of who we are, that's that stretch goal. That's that stretch reason, growth. And then goal viability is the benefit plus having a high cost tolerance. So this is like, your goal is going to require just constant awareness of that benefit and that high tolerance of cost, because you have that plan in place just in case, so you can handle it when things get tough. So a quick example here when it comes to cost and like what we have to like spend in emotion and in mental effort is around the stock market. So if you don't invest actual money into the stock market, you're not going to realize actual returns. You need to invest, even if it's scary, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's like the market's volatile, like whatever, to have any chance of making any kind of money, even though there's a risk of also losing money. The same is true here. You need to invest with your willingness to be uncomfortable and exert the effort to get the return of achieving the goal. So this is like your contingency plan that you're going to think about up front. Okay. Right. And then the third step has a few little like subparts to it. So we laid the groundwork with the goal. We have our plan to hedge our risk. And then what we're going to do is take our goal and work it through what I call aim sharp. Okay. We're going to break our big goal into mini goals, because what this does, it allows you to realize those strategic byproducts as you go, as you're in the attempting phase, instead of just realizing the joy and the sense of accomplishment and like all the things at the very end. Like, these are the little wins that are going to fuel the emotional resiliency that you need to cross the finish line. That is crucial. It's like if you're in a car and you don't fill up your tank on your trip, you're going to run out of gas. Like, this is the gas, right? So for an example, with the goal of like getting a new job, your mini goals might be update my resume, portfolio, LinkedIn, make a list of dream employers, schedule and practice doing interviews, schedule mock interviews, research salary negotiating tactics, apply, reach out to hiring managers, recruiters on LinkedIn. I wanted to give you guys some time to brainstorm on that stuff now, but I think for the sake of time, this will be homework for you. You're going to take your big goal after this call, and your homework is going to be to brainstorm every little thing. This is what you're going to do with it next. Once you have all of those mini goals or all of those mini steps, you're going to look at that list and you're going to take the one that feels the most important. All right. And you're going to run it through aim sharp. Okay. This is my favorite part. The aim part is my favorite part of the whole process. What it stands for is A, is the acceptable minimum that you can do for that mini goal. I is the ideal or the maximum you can do for that mini goal. And then M is the middle, falling somewhere between the minimum and the maximum. What this does is that no matter where you land between the A, I, and the M, you've accomplished something. You've made progress. And you're also gathering intel at very low stakes in the game and early in the process. It's like that metaphor of like, you can't just like eat an elephant in one big bite. You have to take a bunch of little bites in order to eat the elephant. The same here. take that same mini goal that you just ran through AIM, and you're going to run it through Sharp. S stands for specific. What is the very first step I have to take for that mini goal? So if your mini goal, most important mini goal here was update my resume, what's the very first step that I need to take to do that? And the next one can help you with that too. H stands for holistic milestones. Exactly how am I going to measure my success? Like, what are the milestones within that mini goal? So if your mini goal is update your resume, your milestones might be update my work experience, search for like a resume template on Etsy, decide and purchase the template on Etsy, populate and update the content for the resume. Okay, and then A is attainable. Is it possible to achieve? Does anything need to be broken down further? You might answer, and for the sake of our example, like, yes, I have the skills to do this, but I might need to research the dates of my past employment. Okay, R is realistic. Can it be done at this time? Can anything get in the way? Does this mini goal need modification? Like, you might be thinking, okay, maybe you have kids, I have all these logistics, so I'm going to plan for childcare and I'm going to block time and I'm going to tell the people that need to know that I can't be disturbed like during this time that I'm working on this. And then P is punctuality. When exactly will I finish it? I'm going to finish this mini goal one day from today, next week, next month, whatever. Give it a date. And then you just start. You run each of those mini goals through the same process of AIM Sharp. And as you move through these, it's not going to be uncommon to want to tweak or evaluate like the other mini goals that you brainstormed in the beginning. Like, tweaks are of course encouraged like as you go, so you can get the maximum results possible. And then after you run your last mini goal through AIM Sharp, you get to ring that bell, because there's one thing done. There's one thing accomplished. You feel really, really good about it. You get to celebrate your commitment. And you get to be in the having of all of the pieces of that big goal, that compelling reason, the feeling going on the yoga retreat, like you did it, right? And then you get to repeat this level of success over and over again, because now you have a process to actually getting it done versus it just being like an idea and a thought. And you telling yourself that you're going to do it, but not having the steps to do it. But here's the thing that I want to, not caution. Here's the thing that I want to encourage. I think this is very common amongst women. I think it's common amongst business owners, is that once you reach the accomplishment and the achievement part, to just sit in it. Just sit in it. Let it absorb. Like, just let yourself feel good about it. I think very often, like, we get to that point and they're like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Allow yourself to feel that joy. That's like this masculine and feminine, energetic, like, balancing act. You need to have a balance in order to like show up as your best self every single time to achieve all these goals. So that's what I would encourage. Okay. That is it. I have 10 minutes for any question and answer. If anybody wants to talk about their goals. I know that if you implement this process, you're going to get moving. You're going to be moving. You're going to be doing some amazing things. You guys have things that you're looking to accomplish this year that are huge. You're going to get the things that you want in your business and you want in your life. And here's what I tell every single one of my clients. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. And it's a big concept to digest. But if you really, really, really think about it, the thoughts that you have are impacting your feelings, and your feelings are impacting your actions and your behaviors. Establishing a process around achievement and accomplishment of your goals is only going to benefit so many other areas of your life. Okay?
I have a challenge, maybe, if I could.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when just this group or whoever, if people in the rest of the hive want to do it too, but when we accomplish a mini goal, if we can share it in the hive, because I feel like that's one of the things I want for the Hive is to be a place of encouragement and a place of celebration because being a female entrepreneur is hard and it's lonely. And so rather than just giving yourself a pat on the back, I would challenge you to let our community also give you a pat on the back. And I think that it could also spur on others who maybe need a little bit of motivation or something like that. I know that I love to see it and I'm like, oh, I really need to get down to business now, or kind of refocus. So if anybody's willing or interested, I'd love to see that sort of interaction in the group and just kind of saying, hey, this is what I did today. And it can be, mini goals are mini goals. It can be, I ran all my mini goals through the Aim Sharp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I second that. That accountability is a big deal because it's accountability that's like not your partner, not your bestie, not your mom.
Yep.
Who are all biased. You're in a community of people that like get what you're going through, and like vulnerability is key in sharing this stuff too. It's like one of the most supportive things that we can offer each other. Okay. Anybody have any other thoughts or questions?
I just had a quick question. I know you said that you do things locally or like through the United States. Do you guys do like in-person meetings or anything?
I'm hoping to plan a couple of in-person events.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like not your typical networking events, but something more where we can really get to know each other and have fun versus like, hi, I'm Katie. Nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Mainly because I shared this with Lisa the other day. I feel like I'm so like post-COVID Katie is super introverted and feels extremely awkward at those things. So I'm thinking maybe even like some volunteer work or doing some meetups that are casual. Like, hey, does anybody want to meet at the park and go for a walk and just like chat business, those kind of things. So yes, I'm in the planning stages. And if you have any ideas or want to host or anything like that, please let me know.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Definitely down.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, one last thing from me, and I'll hand it back over to Katie, is that if anybody here is interested in going deeper on this work, if anybody here is like, I don't want to do this alone and I want some like one-on-one attention, someone that can bring some more awareness to how my thinking is impacting all of the things that I actually do and feel, I'm going to drop in the chat a link to a free coaching consultation call. So if coaching is something that piques your interest, you're curious about, you want to learn more about, and want to understand exactly how a coaching partnership can be applied to where you are in your business and in your life, that's what that call can be used for. So I'll drop the link there, no pressure whatsoever. And if anybody has questions on the process, because I know that was a lot of stuff, hit me up in the Hive and I can answer any questions that come up, because I'm sure something will come up. Or I forget what this was, or what was this one thing, or whatever. Thank you, Katie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa, again, for being my guinea pig and doing this for the first time in the Hive. I'm super excited. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. I took lots of notes. And definitely am feeling more inspired, especially as it's the end of the month. And so we probably all set our goals at the beginning of the month. And it's always, I feel like, a conundrum for me because I'm like not ready to start the goals on January 1st. And then it takes me a hot minute to get my kids back to school and get my life together. But definitely feeling more inspired to hit the ground running now. And I hope you are too. So thanks for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for showing up.
Have a great day.